So, how's it going, everybody? Um, so, I just wanted to bring a little update on kind of some stuff going on. So, as of a couple days ago, I officially finished my bachelor's with WGU. Um, I started my course on April 1st, um, and as of a couple days ago, I had just completed it. So, it took about 2 months for me to finish what was left of my degree. And I wanted to kind of just talk about accelerating because I know it's a big topic and everybody's always asking for tips and what's the best way to do this and what's the best way to go about it. So here are going to be 5 tips that I think are good for accelerating at WGU specifically. So step 0, kind of like a prerequisite, obviously decide on what you want to do. I don't think there's really any wrong choice. So whether it's IT management, a CS degree, any of the business ones, just kind of decide what you want to do. I went with marketing and had no background in marketing, so I think my tactics here worked a little well. But once you decide, go ahead and get your application in and get that ball rolling as soon as possible. And I think it's kind of the best thing to just start because you're not committed to starting once you get stuff in, but you can kind of open up that door and start talking. So that's kind of the step 0. Step 1. So once you've decided on your program you want to enter, like I said, everything I'm going to be referring to is in marketing, and I have no actual background in marketing. So step 2. So your enrollment, you've done all your kind of prerequisites. You know what you're transferring in. You've applied. You've committed to your start date, and you get your mentor assigned. The biggest thing you can do is talk with your mentor. So they're gonna have 2. I can't be thankful enough for the mentor I have had. I guess have still in this case, but my mentor, she was fantastic. We talked about the plans on what I wanted, when I wanted to graduate by, and all of that stuff up front. So she knew what my goals were. She was there to support me. And if I had any issues, talk about it. Discuss on how you like to learn, right? I like to learn by basically forcing myself with information. So I would take in a bunch of stuff, and if I got stuck or burnt out on a subject, I would just switch to a different class and then start going through that. Mainly between OAs and PAs, really. And I'll explain that a little bit later, but if I got locked up on something, then I would move to like a different PA. Usually with the OAs, I would stay focused, but PAs, if I got stuck on something, switch to a different one until I burn out to come back and it kind of freshed my mind up. So talk to your mentor, let them know your plan and the way that they kind of structure everything. You'll get a degree plan once you start, and it goes over the order. A lot of the classes are structured in a way that they build on each other. So try and follow that degree plan. It may not be the greatest thing, and there may be better routes to go, but they do help build on each other. And I noticed a lot of classes later down the line refer to stuff at the beginning. So follow that. Step 3. So this is going to be how to accelerate, specifically about the OAs, I would say. So when you first start, sorry, I got notes here for this one because it was kind of long, but when you first start, depending on what you get done, I would recommend leaving organizational behavior. I wouldn't transfer that one in because I think it is a great introductory class to kind of grasp how the whole system works and how WGU is structured and assembled, and kind of gives you a good flow. And that class really was not that hard. But I think it is a good introductory class. So if you can avoid doing it, I know on Sophia it is a nightmare of a class. Like, it is very, very long. I think it's like 8 papers or something like that. And at WGU, it is one of their OAs, so it doesn't take that long. I think I spent maybe 4 hours on it versus having to write 8 papers. So keep that one in mind. And just to go over this, with all of the OAs I did, I passed all of them on the first attempt. I didn't have to do any redos. I didn't have to do any retake plans. So that helped as well with the acceleration process. But let's see. So when you first open up your courses, you're going to be able to start your course, and you're going to have your practice assessment, and you're going to have the course material and all of that on your main page. The first thing I recommend doing is take the PA. So take your practice assessment, go through, I think most of them are like 70 questions, 80 questions, something like that. Take your PA, see what your grade is at the end of it. If you pass with competency and it's, a comfortable margin, you may be ready to just go ahead and take the actual OA. But regardless of where you are, unless you're like exemplary in all of them, this is what I'd recommend. So take it, get your grade, look at the review for it, but do not look at any of the questions. I think this is the biggest thing, because when you start looking at questions and the answers, a lot of the times people are just building up a memory for it. So they're not actually learning the information. They're trying to bank on memorizing the questions and then just going through and doing it. And it doesn't work. All it's going to end up happening is you're going to memorize questions. Something's going to get thrown at you different. And then you're going to end up in a worse position. So don't review your questions, but everything will have a suggest study area. Once you go through and you look at those suggest study areas, open all of them up. It'll tell you which module specifically you should study in. Watch the cohort. That's going to be in the course tips on the main page. Go down to like view all course materials. There should be course tips, and there should be pre-recorded cohorts for you to watch. Watch those, take notes. And then at the end of it, on the module sections, you can go through and take sorry about that. You can go take a quiz at the end of it, and it's like a 5-question quiz, but it'll help give you it'll help see if you got better at the subject. So take that, go through the lesson for that module. They're usually like 5 to 10 pages, and they have questions throughout them. Take those. If you're passing all of those and you're getting all those right on your first go, great. I think you're good. I don't think you need to study that section anymore. Move to the next one. Burn through all those. And then once you've completed everything where it said suggest study, go ahead and take your PA again. See how much you improve. The PAs are going to be the same questions every time. So that's why I said don't review your answers. Not yet, at least. So when you go through, take it a second time. If you improve your score, if you were approaching competency before, or you hit competency, or maybe you're exemplary and all of them now, then go ahead and just book the OA, right? I know it's tough and I know it's scary, and a lot of the times you get cold feet, but just go ahead and book it. It's going to be the best thing you can do. And then breathe. Make sure you bring drinks with you, whether it's some caffeine, coffee, tea to help keep your nerves down. Take advantage of having drinks, and then go through it and get to the test. So once you take the OA, remember it's not a race. They're very generous with the time they give you. So don't worry about getting it done as quickly as possible, and use that time. My best suggestion for doing these tests, I'm a horrible test taker. And I think the reason I was able to do all these is anytime I'd hit something I didn't know, or I wasn't like 100% confident in, once I read the question, read the answers, if I didn't know it instinctively, flag it, go to the next one. Or don't even flag it. You could just go to the next one. Go through the whole test, right? It doesn't matter if, you skip 4, 5, 10 questions in the beginning. Once you hit that stride, your confidence is going to go up, and then you can keep working through. Once you get to the end, go ahead and recheck your flagged or skipped questions. There's a button for it on the test taking page. Go back, rerun through it. Sometimes there's more information that you'll get from answering other questions, or your brain will kind of get re-jogged on stuff after you go through and you answer the questions, or you get in that confidence stride. Go through the next round. Keep things flagged if you don't know them. If you're more confident on an answer, unflag it. Shrink the pool down. Go to the end. Go back. Redo it again until you hit those questions that you're really having to rack your brain on. I think skipping those at the beginning and not burning up a lot of energy thinking is going to help in the long run, because you're not going to wear yourself down. So you can focus on the questions that you will know, and the things that you don't know, you can spend a lot more time at the end and burn yourself off at the end versus at the beginning, so you're not stressed and tired or, pushing yourself super hard. So I think that's kind of the best thing you can do, and just go through it, get it done, and take your time. And like I said, you don't have to answer every question on the first go. If you don't know it, skip it, go back later. And I think that helped a lot in my, success with all of it. So for the next one, for step 4, we're going to talk about PAs specifically. These are different from the practice assessments. These are the performance assessments. PAs in reference to OAs are practice assessment and then objective assessment, and then PAs in this one are performance assessments, which are just basically writing. I wasn't super confident. I've never really been good at writing. I'm much more mathematics and analytical, so writing I was a little nervous with. But I only had one paper out of the whole 19 classes I had that got sent back, and it was legitimately for one character, and it was something I missed, and it happens. I was up late doing it, but minor mistake, one correction, sent it back, and I was able to pass. And it was the last class, of course, to kind of drag things along. But the best thing you can do about these is just follow the rubric. All of the information is any of the prompts that you get when it's like a fill-in assignment, all of the information is there. There are templates usually at the bottom or in the course materials that your instructor will email you, or it is on the page at the bottom when you go to your task. Use those rubrics, or use the rubric, use the templates, and just follow it to a T. If you follow it to a T, you are guaranteed to pass. Like I said, I did it with every single one, didn't have any issues with any papers. Everything came back 100%, minus the last one. But another thing is when you're going through this, unless you're going for those academic rewards and you're trying to maximize your experience there, you don't need to go above and beyond. The competency mark, I believe, is going to get you a 3.0 GPA regardless. So all of those classes, I think you're locked into a 3.0. So going above and beyond doesn't really net you too much. So following it exactly to a T, making sure you hit that competency mark is going to be the easiest way to get through the PAs. If you're experienced in the field, obviously it's going to make a bit of a difference, but you don't need to go too crazy with it. Follow it, submit it, and I think you'll be good to go with it. I don't think there's too much more for it. With the one, though, I did have get sent back at the end. I did schedule a meeting with the course instructor because I didn't agree with it because I had missed it. Got on the phone with them. They basically told me what they thought it was and gave me advice on where to correct to assist with it, and then told me to submit it, get a pass. Easy as that. Finally, step 5, and this one is going to be the, I think, easiest of them is, well, easiest and most difficult, is going to be just keep it up. Once you kind of hit your stride for how you're going about it, keep pace with it, keep on yourself, and just keep going through. Like I said in the beginning, talking with your mentor and explaining your goals and what you want to do is really, really beneficial. I talked about mine with my mentor initially and went over what it was. And for the first little block you get, they'll usually give you like 4 or 5 classes. I proved myself that I was going to do this and what I wanted to do, so it made it very easy and not much of a fuss or anything like that to move up the next classes. I passed everything on the first go, kept her updated with what my goals were and what I was planning to do, and she didn't have any issues moving stuff up to make sure I had all the necessary tools to keep progressing and get it done in my time frame. Talk with them. I know you can suggest or ask for new mentors, so if you have any issues, I wouldn't say feel bad about asking for a new one, but it will help you to get along with your mentor, talk to them, keep them updated. I think overall I only ended up having 2 or maybe 2 calls with my mentor over the 2 months, because I would send an email, let her know what my plans were, and just kept moving. Like I said, I like focusing in on stuff and just getting it done. So not having that, need for having to do these calls constantly and things like that, I think made a big difference. And she understood that. She liked, that's how I worked. She kind of came from a similar boat in how she functions. So as long as I kept them in the loop and did what I was supposed to do, there was no issues, no pushback, no nothing like that. And I was able to move up those classes, I think, a little bit faster than what most would do. So those are kind of the major things that I think are important for accelerating. Obviously, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll be able to respond. Also, there are plenty of groups that I think are really good to take part of. The WGU Accelerators group on Facebook has a lot of useful information and kind of these key, concise points, but I figured a video would last a little bit longer, and everybody who's looking up how to accelerate, this may be a little bit more useful for you. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody for watching, and I hope these tips help. And obviously, good luck in your future endeavors and getting that degree. If I can do it, pretty much anybody should be able to. If you guys did like the video, make sure you leave a like, a comment, whether it's just your favorite emoji or anything like that. Let's get this more visible for people who are trying to accelerate. Also, this was one of my goals for the year, was to get my bachelor's. So I've completed that. I talked about it up here probably, about my 2025 goals for content creation and personal. So if you could give that a watch, a like, share, I'd really appreciate it. But thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time.